I bought a week-long game challenge. It was like 10 bucks, so why not? Alright, this is weird. I can't find any evidence of it anymore, but I swear I bought this for like $10. Okay, let's do some history on our boy David. Dude, what is with this picture? Why does his head look so big? Why does he look like he's in some Beastie Boys rap video? So apparently there's some other David Wehle that's like a comedian or something. He's even got his own website. But anyway, this is our boy David. This guy made the first tree, and home is where one starts. And so this game challenge was on sale for like 10 bucks, and so I was like, I don't know, maybe it helps me finish a game or something. Alright, so I picked this up, and it sits on my shelf for about 3 months. Not a great start, but by December, I get working. It's a pretty neat product. David really lays out a nice plan, and he compiles so many assets for you that alone would be worth more than $7. But you also get all of David's games for free, which their value alone was more than the $10. The project itself takes you through the basics of Unity, and it's really geared towards complete noobs, but we're not plebs, so we're gonna jump ahead. David has you play some games and try out some assets, and then you write down what aspects of each that you like, and essentially he just walks you through how to brainstorm a game idea. He gives you this awesome retro shader pack with some vintage PlayStation rendering, and then you get started working on your level. Now, at this point, I already had a pretty good idea of what I wanted, so I kind of abandoned David. Sorry, David, we'll probably be back once I realize that I screwed up something and I need help again. And at this point, I just start going off. I made a nice grass shader, which later proved to be my bane, but for now it looks kind of pretty. I added a texture to it so that the color of the grass matches the color of the terrain. Here's a final look at where I'm at so far. At some point I added rain, which I got from a pretty terrible asset, so I rewrote the entire asset to get better performance. And here I got some nice raindrop effects. I had so many issues with this asset, but I got what I needed and moved on. Okay, so at this point, I was getting excited, and before my hopes would be mercilessly dashed by the reality of optimization tables and the current crisis fueled by wannabe communists who think they can literally just buy money, I wanted to make a freaking logo. Now, I don't know why I did this, because I can't even use this logo because I used Danger's album art, and so this just ended up being concept art. But it looked kinda cool, and now I have this picture to look at. I threw it into itch.io to see how it would hold up, and here's how that looks. I guess this is where I should explain the actual gameplay, but I had to suffer through this for about 3 months to get it to even work, so you have to suffer too. All you need to know is this guy is bad, and he has big red eyes, so I needed some red eyes. Now, this asset, unlike the other ones, has been the best thing I've ever found. It just straight up works, and I found it thanks to our dear departed Brackies. So the bear enemies have these searchlight-esque eyes that track the player, and in return, the player also has these glowing goggles. I also wanted these kind of like grotesque lights coming out from the bear as if the bear was like emitting red light. And then I added fur. Now, what in the world possessed me to add fur to a bear who will be in the dark and will never be seen by the player? I don't know. You know, and maybe it's just the really charming aesthetic here of like our dear friend Mr. Huggy. But now the bear would just literally glow, like all the time. And this just led me down this rabbit hole of trying to fix all this craziness with these other assets, but nothing could save me from this abomination I had created. And I spent forever on these stupid assets. This one is like $15, and it literally doesn't even have volumetric lighting in it, and I need to rant. This right here, this asset by Tech Salad, this is the biggest scam on the planet that just panders to the base level of interns hired to spend money on random assets that are marketed solely based on having been used by other companies for the sake of nothing more but name-dropping Boneworks and Carly and the Reaper Man. What even is this game? If anything, it just shows that companies have no idea what they're buying. There's even like this random dust feature that like doesn't work. And so I go back to my trusty old light volume. The major problem that I had right now is that my fur renders over the top of my volume light, which is not normal. And so I compromised and I created this cone here that would just block the bear from being seen. I spiced it up a little more with this gradient texture so the cone fades off at the end. And with that, I had created Tech Salad's entire asset in about 2 minutes. And now I have my light shafts back. And honestly, this worked out because I turned this bug into a really cool feature. It's surprisingly realistic, and now the player can actually see where the bear is, and how far away the bear is, and how much time the player has to run. And so this leads me to the current trailer that I have, and where the game is at now. I'll go ahead and post the entire trailer by itself, and then you can all let me know what you think. So yeah, I guess this is an official announcement of the project, and so I'll be working on this for the next month and hopefully finishing it off. And in the meantime, I will be playing through more of your games, so keep sending those recommendations my way, and I'll see you next time.